I'm John Hart, and welcome back to Mr. America Hart. Today we're talking about growing big thighs naturally. I'm going to share with you a routine in a moment that I used early on in my training career. It's been about 4 decades now, so I'm coming up on 4 decades. But early on, to grow big thighs. I'm also going to have a little bit of an announcement. If you hang with me somewhere later in this video, a little bit of an announcement, kind of fun news, and also to share something with you all who are my faithful subscribers. All right, let's get back to it. The routine to grow those big thighs. First of all, I trained my thighs just once per week, quads and hamstrings. How would I do it? There were 2 different routines that I used. I would go for, first of all, I would go for 8 to 12 weeks straight training, hard, before taking a little bit of a break. During that time, in the 8 to 12 weeks, when I say a break, I mean 7 to 10 days off. But during that 8 to 12 weeks, what did it look like? I would do 1 week where I would do focus on heavier weights. So 6 to 10 repetitions, I would go to the gym for squats specifically. I was after numbers. I was after perfect form with some numbers involved. What did the squat workout look like? I'd go in the gym, I'd warm up, 2 or 3 warm-up sets. I keep shaking my head like this when I talk about warm-ups because to me it's just not the biggest deal. Not a lot of repetitions, sort of like the power lifters. I would do a set of 10 with 1 plate, move it up to 2 plates, do a set of 8 or a set of 5 or 6, depending on the temperature of the gym, how warm I was. And then maybe another warm-up set with like 2.5 plates. And then boom, I throw on 3 plates or so. Constantly, every other week, I would try to increase that weight within that 6 to 10 repetition range. Once I can get 10 repetitions with a certain weight, I would add that little 2.5 on each side of the bar. So it would increase the weight. But I did that every other week with a focus on numbers. I was recording all of my workouts as well. So I would do squats. A simple pyramid, if you will, not necessarily with a lot of repetitions, but once I got to that weight, 6 to 10 repetitions on squats, 1 set, just 1 set. And then I'd give it my all, and then move on. What was I moving on to? Well, back in the day, we had vertical leg presses. And whereas today, it's not necessarily my favorite exercise to be doing, and you can check out, I'll put a link down below, my thoughts on doing leg presses in general. But back in the day, I did do squats and then the leg press. I would use a vertical leg press and pretty much go right to it, where I would do 2 sets of somewhere around, it was never super heavy now, just above that, 10 to 20 repetitions. So I do a set of squats for 6 to 10, set of vertical leg presses for 10 to 20. Seems all-encompassing to me. Almost done with the workout, by the way. So far I've done 2 working sets, or 3 working sets, I want to count correctly. The third exercise I would do, leg curls. No, I'm just kidding. I didn't do leg curls. I hardly ever did leg curls. Back in the day, we're talking about 4 decades ago, most leg curl machines were crap, okay? We're talking about the old universal leg curls. They were garbage. The old Nautilus with the straight bench you would lay on hurt a lot of people's backs. I hated it. So what would I do? I did stiff-legged deadlifts, okay, with a straight leg and a barbell. And I would do in that one as well, somewhere between 8 to 15 repetitions. I grind those out. Once I got to the top end, it's not 15, I gotta tell you, I never did 15. It would be more like 8 to 12. Once I got to the 12, top end of that, I would again add a little 2.5 to the bar, keeping that bar really close to my knees and my shins as I would go ahead and go over with a flat back. I'll give a little video on that one. So far, I would build up on that. I would do 1 warm-up set on those stiffies and then go ahead and go for it. 1 or 2 sets. I say 1 or 2 sets because back in the day, that was the kind of volume that I used. 1 or 2 hard sets, yes, to where the form was going down the toilet, where it was I was no longer able to keep a flat back, no longer able to keep a safe situation going on where I kept the bar close to my shins. That was one of the workouts. Quads, hamstrings, done. As close to failure as possible. Definitely on the vertical leg press, I was taking that thing to the end, where I could barely get, at the end, the weight's not going to come back up again. I would do a half a rep, 1 or 2 of those because I was done. So, squats, vertical leg press, stiff leg deadlifts. Alternate weeks, what would I do? The focus on that week was reps. Reps with the same weight. what was that? These were tough. And judging by the two workouts, I used to think the heavier workout would be the harder one. It wasn't the case at all. The rep workout was way harder. I would come to the gym, I'd warm up, do 1 or 2 warm-up sets with 1 plate on the bar, maybe a little bit more than that, and then I'd throw 2 plates on the bar. My goal was to get as many repetitions as I could with 2 plates. So initially, whereas I could get something like 15 or 20 reps with the 2 plates, I built up week by week by week, whether it was 3, 5 repetitions. You know, we'd get crazy. We'd get crazy and we would throw throw our bodies into it and go for it. And it was just squats, So I would do a maximum repetition set, 1 set of squats with 225, and it would vary between 20 and 40 repetitions. So it was a lot of repetitions. They were non-stop, non-lock, until I was ready to just heave. And then I'd stop, take a few breaths, and then knock out a few more reps like that. A few rest pause at the end. After that, what would I do? Then I would do a leg curl. I would do 2 sets of leg curls, moderate weight, again, 8 to 12 repetitions. Never did a lot of repetitions on hamstrings. 8 to 12 repetitions to failure. 2 sets, done. The quads, the hamstrings, done. That was the entire workout on week 1, week 2, alternate weeks, and I would just do that for 8 to 12 repetitions, 8 to 12 weeks, I apologize, 8 to 12 weeks, and at the end, a layoff would come in. After the layoff, I'd start the next cycle slightly heavier because I was stronger. So I'd start it slightly heavier. Throughout the year, what was I doing? Throughout a year, I was doing a form of linear periodization. Powerlifters, you all know what I'm talking about. It's the simplest form of how to increase the weight on certain exercises, and that's what I would do, a form of linear periodization. Now look, that workout was great. Big eating days on those workout days when I would do those leg workouts. A lot of food, okay? An extra 5 to 1,000 calories every single time. Combine that with some really good squatting, because I'm squatting both workouts. I call it both great squatting. Stimulating the metabolism, stimulating the growth of the muscle, and that was it. It was as simple as that, the most simple, bare bones workout. But getting crazy. Getting crazy. Yes, pushing the envelope. Yes, going for reps. Absolutely horny for more repetitions on the high repetition day. Absolutely horny for more weight on the squat workout. Absolutely true. Wanted to grow. And that's it. Naturally. It worked. It absolutely worked. And eventually it led to thighs, one of my strongest body parts in bodybuilding. I competed as a natural, eventually winning the Mr. America when it was drug tested. I won the natural Mr. Universe in my height class, the tall class, and then I was a WNBF World Natural Bodybuilding Federation Pro, Natural Pro Bodybuilder, and even up till 50, competing till 52, I apologize. Up to 52. I started from age 19 to 52. And at 52, I was still on stage with big thighs. Some of the biggest ones, usually, going on stage. There were some guys with some big thighs in natural bodybuilding. But they're crazy. That's a whole other story today. So listen, I promised you I had a little bit of an announcement. So that's my thigh training. A little bit of an announcement today. This week we hit 10,000 subscribers at Mr. America Heart. I want to thank all of you guys, first of all, for hanging with us. And I want to give a little bit of a shout out, excuse me, a little bit of a shout out to my faithful subscribers. If you've hung this far in this video, then I call you a faithful subscriber, a faithful viewer of my videos. And I'm going to give you a little bit of a surprise today. These right here, we have some giveaways going on at Mr. America Heart. These are the 3 books that I have written. And the first one is called Year 1 in the Beginning. And you can see it's dedicated towards beginners. It's a whole year of training for beginners. Physique 101. This one right here is probably the most comprehensive that I've written, covering everything from beginners to advanced bodybuilding. Diet is also in there as well. And lastly, my original writing was the Mr. America Shape Up series, covering what I did in an entire year, going from kind of fat and out of shape to in the best shape I could get in. And it was not for a contest, but I did it as an experiment. And you all know, I did it in 5 different books, put them all together under one heading Mr. America Shape Up Series. So this is what I'm going to do. Down below in the comments section, first of all, I'd love to hear your comments. I'm going to throw these down. I'd love to hear your comments on this video on growing big thighs naturally. Go ahead and hit me with the comments down below. Now, if you're interested in any of these books, we at Mr. America Heart are giving away 10 books, 10 while supplies last, and in what order or who gets what, it's going to depend on what's left over. So, as quick as you can down below, go ahead in the comments section and tell me, faithful subscriber, tell me. We're going to randomly pick 10 of you to send a book to. That's domestic or international. We're going to cover international costs because we're so happy right now, Mr. America Heart, and so thankful for you guys. You go ahead and down below, give me your 2 choices. Give me your 2 choices of which book you would like. Okay, so if you like Mr. America Shape Up Series, give me a second in case we've run out. Would it be year 1 in the beginning? Would it be Physique 101? Your choice. But give me your primary one first and your secondary one second. These are going to be autographed. I'm going to sign all of them to each one of those 10 individuals. And go ahead, when we contact you in the comments section and say yes, email us. That will mean you're getting one of those books. Give me 2 choices though, okay? Give me 2 choices. Go ahead down below in the comments section. Give me those 2 choices, just list the 2 books. Give me a comment on the leg training as well as name the 2 books that you would like if you are one of the randomly selected winners of one of those 3 books that we've written that are sitting here at Mr. America Heart waiting to be shipped out to you. Now, the international ones, give me a minute to get them to you, okay? That's about it for today. From my heart to you, John Hart, remember, I want the best for you. I do. Before you leave, off to my left, you're going to see a disc pop up. That disc right there is a subscribe button for this channel. Please give that a tap and you'll be notified every time we upload a new video to Mr. America Heart. Down below, off to your left, will you please give this video a thumbs up? It's very important for the YouTube algorithm. See you all next time.